Jennifer Danielle, and welcome to my channel. I am so happy to be back talking cruising. Woo, y'all, it's been 3 months of me not cruising because of these ridiculous flight prices, but this time we are back and I am kicking off what I call Cruise Week 2022. So this week I am going to be sharing all the information from my Instagram because I've had a ton of people reach out to me and ask me questions about cruising, and now that the prices are starting to come down a little bit for traveling, and cruising is actually this is the off season for cruising, believe it or not, I wanted to make sure that I gave you guys all the information you needed for your next solo cruise. So in this video, we're going to be talking about 5 safety tips for women who want to solo travel, but we're going to specifically be talking about cruising. So let's get into it. All right, so tip number 1 is you want to have a plan and you want to do research ahead of time. So when I first took my cruise, I watched every solo vlogger possible because I wanted to know, what are some of the problems that you may run into? What is the experience like? What can you expect? And so I feel like when you are caught off guard, that's when you kind of, struggle the most. And so I always recommend having a plan ahead of time for how you're going to get from the airport to the cruise port, where you're going to stay hotel wise, your strategy for how you're going to, manage excursions and things like that, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But you definitely want to do your research by finding out, what's happened other places and what experiences other women have had. All right, so tip number 2. I always recommend getting the Wi-Fi package. Now, I do not believe in being completely cut off from the world and not having access to people. So for me, I have done more Carnival cruises than anything. I had the package on Royal, but I went with my friend, so I wasn't, I felt a little bit safer, and so I didn't feel the need to call home. But I get the Wi-Fi package because with an iPhone, sorry Android users, I can't speak to how this works, but with an iPhone, with the premium Wi-Fi package on Carnival, you're actually able to FaceTime, so and use your social media, which I think with Android you can too, but I know for a fact you can FaceTime with the iPhone with that premium package. And so I was able to reach out to my family every day and check in with them and just let them know, that I was okay and where I was. I was sure to always at least inbox somebody on Instagram if I couldn't, make a call, if the service was bad or anything like that, just so that, your family can kind of have a heads up and have an idea of where you are. I know that it's not going to be much that they can do, on the ship if something happens, but you definitely want to be able to check in every single day and know that someone at home knows that you're at least okay. So I highly recommend getting that Wi-Fi package so that you can have that contact with the outside world. Okay, number 3, and I talk about this one all the time, and that is to utilize Facebook groups. So I always say that typically when you are going on a cruise, there is a specific cruise group for your specific itinerary and the people that are getting on the ship with you. And in that group, you can find out if there are other solo travelers. It's usually going to be other solo women that are on that cruise also. And you can kind of like partner up. And I always recommend partnering up with someone so that someone on the ship knows where you are. So kind of just like you would do with the family thing, what I just said with the Wi-Fi, you want to have somebody on the ship that semi knows where you are, because you all are going to be mentally in the same space where you're going to feel, kind of afraid traveling by yourself. So it's great to have that person that you can reach out to on the ship, and in the event that something happens and say you meet a stalker or somebody makes you feel uncomfortable, you can at least have somebody else on the ship that knows the situation and that you've spoken to. And with Carnival, you can actually get what's called their cruise chat for $5. And so you can have a way to message back and forth with that person without using your internet, which airplane mode, if you don't put your phone in airplane mode, you'll come back to a huge bill. But with that cruise chat, it works while you're offline and you're able to talk to people on the cruise. And so it's great to at least meet someone in that group that you can kind of connect with and have that relationship. Okay, so the next tip is once you get on the ship, you want to be very selective about who you tell that you're traveling alone. You definitely don't want to be just broadcasting, hey, I'm here by myself, nobody is looking for me. You want to blend in as much as possible. It's really the best way I can put it. There are some people that you'll meet, and they may ask you, if you meet somebody you feel comfortable, you can say, hey, yeah, this is a solo trip for me. But in front of especially the opposite sex, I would be very, very selective about mentioning that I am solo until I feel comfortable with that person. So with that, I would also say you want to watch your surroundings and kind of use the same mindset that you would use at home. So like for me, I don't go out at night and pump gas. I don't stop at gas stations and go to sketchy areas at night. I am always watching my surroundings when I'm out, and so you want to have that same mindset when you're on the ship. And especially being alone, you want to limit your alcohol intake, because you want to make sure that you are in the right state of mind and that you are fully aware of everything around you. Okay, and last but not least, you want to opt for cruise-led excursions, because the process is going to be you are going to meet with kind of a tour guide while you're on the ship. They're going to put you and the people that are doing your excursion in a group, and if you have to take, say, a bus or whatever to get to that next destination, it's going to be supplied by that cruise line. You're going to have that tour guide that is looking out for you, and you're going to have other people that are on the ship with you within that excursion. So when I'm traveling solo, I absolutely always do whatever cruise line I'm on, their excursion. There's only been once that I didn't do that, and it was because the excursion I was doing was literally across the street, and so that was Aruba, and I was like on camera talking to you guys then because it was like broad daylight and so many people out. So I definitely say, you want to work with that cruise line, because they're gonna, even if in the event that your excursion runs over and Lord forbid the ship is about to leave, that is the only way that they're going to wait for you, is that if you're on one of their excursions. So definitely as a safety precaution, I say to always book with the cruise line that you're on for excursions when you're solo. That's it for this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if you found these tips helpful. This is video 1 of Cruise Week, so be sure to stay tuned because we are back on Friday. See you guys soon. Bye.